put this side. Always.
Hello. All right. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. My name is Shawnalee McDonough, and I am a Reiki master, an intuitive coach, and I have with me tonight a very special guest. I have Loot Bryon Smith, and he is a life coach. He's also a podcast show host. He has his own podcast, and he is also a positive empowerment singer, rapper. I started following Loot probably almost 2.5, 3 years ago, and found him on Facebook and listened to his music on YouTube and just fell in love. And he helped uplift my soul. And so tonight we'll be discussing the power of the subconscious mind with Dr. Joseph Murphy. And so welcome, Loot.
Yes, thank you, Shawnalee. I appreciate that amazing introduction. And like you said, we connected some time ago, and I've had you on my podcast as well. And we just have this nice warm energy between you and I, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah. So before we get started, tell the viewers what you're up to and, how they can get in contact with you and what, if you have any offers to put out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me go. See, you just unleashed me now. So
you
gotta tell me when to shut up now. Okay. So for those that don't know my name is Loot Bryon Smith. And as Shawnalee said earlier, I'm a life coach, transformational coach. And before I even go any further, what qualifies me that I believe to be that is, first of all, I wish I should have grabbed that something on the wall. Let me grab it real quick. I don't want to get off, but I'm just trying to show people.
Yeah, totally.
Yes, what qualifies me to, I'm not trying to come across as I'm perfect and got all the answer, but I've been studying extensively, on personal development and self-empowerment and just, changing the thinking for quite some time. And then I actually studied and got a certification.
I love it.
Anybody can get, but you got to do the work, of course.
You got to do the work
and answer the questions, and it's a lengthy process. And also, just I'm an avid reader, a voracious reader. I read a lot of books from various authors and speakers and philosophers in regards to personal development and just getting your mind right. Basically, let's just simplify it. Getting your mind right, because where your mind where your mind is, everything else follows that. A lot of people might not be able to grasp that concept, but just think about it for a minute.
It does.
And I'm also self-entitled, what I call self-empowerment music hip hop artist. And what that is I create music that's designed, that's the intentions are to help you to feel positive, empowered, and liberated just from listening to the lyrics that I put in there. And I create and mess around with different styles and genres, so this time I might make something that sounds a little bit more what you might hear on the radio, a little bit more urban. But if you really take a close listen, you'll listen to the lyrics that I'm saying. They're empowering lyrics, and and just different instrumentals that I get from my producer, Aristotle the Great. Shout out to him. And it's just amazing.
It really is. Congratulations on your certificate and your completion of that course.
We did a couple years ago. Yeah, about 3 to 4 years ago, I got that certificate.
Very nice.
It's called, if anybody's interested, just look up New Skills Academy, and then get your own certificate and start coaching. And the best way to do it is jump into it and start get your certificate so you can. I did that for myself, because I believe everybody has some coaching inside of them. because we all have experiences and we learn from experiences. So
Yeah.
It's good to share that lesson that you've learned from the experiences that you've uh, been through in life. So I believe everybody has that in him. So I believe if you're interested in that, do that. Go get your coaching certificate and just start.
Yeah, totally. Hugh asked, do you coach by education or actual experience? I'd say probably both.
Yes, a little bit of both, but mostly experience, because a lot of the material, the books, the literature that I read, um, inspires me to really um, be the observer. Now that's been a hot topic lately on my
Mhm.
my Facebook page and my Instagram, sharing quotes saying, "Be the observer, learn to be the observer of your experiences, of your circumstances." And what that means is that everything that you do, everything that you go through, conversations that you have, situations and scenarios, they all have this energy that they give off. And when you've encountered a certain circumstances or you're going through something that's doesn't feel quite right. You know what I mean? So observe that and figure out, try to learn from it and do some changing in your thinking and make corrections. So observe every situation you go through, especially those that don't set right, that don't bring you, that aren't conducive with peace, um, harmony, and balance, because that's what we all are seeking inside. Many people have different ways of going about it, whether it be,
Yeah.
religious ways, Christianity or
Yeah.
Catholicism or whatever. And I'm not knocking anything. I believe do whatever resonates with your soul, and
Mhm.
to help you get there to that place of peace and harmony and balance and happiness. And no matter what you have physically, I mean,
Yeah.
monetarily, if you don't have that peace, that harmony, that balance, and let me add health in there and that love in your heart, none of that other stuff matters. And that's my perspective. I've learned that from my own life and from observing, other situations that, God, the universe has allowed me to witness that doesn't matter. Not saying that not to shoot for, goals of wealth and prosperity, because believe me, and we were talking about Joseph Murphy,
Yeah.
not to jump ahead, but one
No,
of the
that's
books that I've
perfect.
read by Joseph Murphy is this:
Yeah. How to attract money.
how to attract money. So, I mean, in our culture, especially in this Western culture, we need money equates to freedom. It
Yes.
equates to, yeah, more time, being able to do more things, to travel and to, you know, buy those things that
Yeah.
you want to buy, wants and needs.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Take care
No,
of your
not at
family,
all.
take care of other people.
Exactly.
Um, it's a frequency.
Yes, and that I'm glad you said that, Shawnalee, because this book, I'm not going to tell everybody about it because go get it. This book talks about, getting on that frequency,
Mm,
and I'll elaborate on that a bit.
I'm
I
writing
know
that.
we're talking about the power of the subconscious mind. Let's get to that next. But this
Yeah.
particular book, since we're on the money train right now, the money bus,
Ooh, I love it.
this talks about getting on that frequency, and it does involve um, uh, giving too, as well, to receive and just things like that. And I know many people that attract wealth to themselves, and I've seen it time and time again through connecting with not being selfish and not worrying and not hoarding and giving. Not saying give everything away, but part of receiving is giving.
Yeah.
And if I can name one guy in particular, no, a couple of guys. It's a friend of mine by the name of Chauncey. Man, he helps people all the time. And
Mhm.
Alfie Hardwick, and that man, both of these two gentlemen, they're amazing gentlemen, and
Mm.
I've learned a lot from them. See, that's where the experiences come in. I watch them, watch what they do. So yeah, and I see Not saying that they don't go through any adversities, but I've seen them transcend it no matter what, and have that attitude to bounce back and just keep moving. And it just seems like blessings just continue to
Mm.
pour out into them. And that's just an inspiration to me. So I read these
Cool.
books and align with people
Yeah.
that inspire and encourage me.
Mm. That's important in itself,
Right,
is having people to help set that standard in your life,
right,
because you can have those that are okay with you just being right where you're at, but
right,
you want those that push you and excel you and want you to grow
right,
and to call you out on your shit and say, hey,
right,
Shawnalee, you're not stepping up. What are you doing? What's
right,
going on with you? And then also, like you said, that mindset. What are you saying? What are the thoughts that you're telling yourself over and over and over? And one of the things that I was reading in the book is, um, this probably goes into the power of money too, or how to attract money, but he
right,
talks
right,
about just saying one word over and over and over again in your mind, and that's wealth. As you're going to sleep, just go to sleep with it being a lullaby and just saying wealth over and over and over. And it's not like you have to do it for a long day or a long time. He just said, just do it for a week and see what happens. And with our subconscious mind, that's actually equivalent to God, right?
right, right,
He talks about that and how um, our conscious mind, what we accept in our conscious mind, seeks down into that subconscious mind, the mysterious mind that never sleeps. It's always awake and it listens to everything that you're feeding it and you're giving it. And
right.
so you can have the power and the chance to overcome your circumstances. And hi, Julie. Thank you for joining.
Absolutely. And I want to elaborate a bit on that now.
Yeah,
Like even I got a few things to say, but and you let me know if
you're great.
if I'm talking too much.
No.
um, or if I need to put my tongue in park. You said repeating wealth.
Hmm.
Now, know this too. When you repeat wealth over and over again, that word that it inspires you to feel a certain way. If you notice, and it's not just wealth as far as money, it's wealth
Right.
as far as all areas in your life, wealth and health. When you're saying that, you're conquering that with just that one word,
Mm.
and you can find other words that inspire you in that way. And let me lead to this. That's why it's so important to what I've come to realize is to be aware of what you're listening to. Be
Mhm.
aware of the conversations you're having because words have power. Now,
Yes.
for my religious brothers and sisters, it says that in the Bible, the power of the tongue, the power of the words, in several areas, and
Yeah.
be renewed by the power of your mind. All that. So it's connected, to a lot of what, especially Dr. Joseph Murphy has said. He's a scholar of many religious religions and all that, and then as far in psychology, and he just puts it all together in such a powerful way to help you
Mhm.
absorb it. But that that also leads me to talk about like music,
Yeah.
the music that we listen to. And this is not to put down any music because I've listened to and still do from time to time, even though you
Yeah.
know it's a little bit more far and few between now. But music is a very powerful tool because it's repetitive. It taps into your emotions, and next thing
Yeah.
you know, you draw things to yourself. Um, what you most listen to. So you got to be careful if you're listening to music. Oftentimes that is referring to destructive, behavior and violent behavior and things like that. Although the artists themselves may be just telling a story or reflecting something that they've been through or how they feel, whatever. You got to be careful with absorbing that. And I won't name any artists, but there's lots of artists that I have witnessed that have quote unquote spoke death into their life because of the lyrics that they uh,
Yeah.
focused on all the time. And it brought that. And people can say, oh, no, it just happened because they went the wrong place or they said this to that person or whatever. There's too many circumstances for it to be a coincidence. Al Hardwick, I just spoke about you, so if
Yes.
you weren't here yet, I just talked about you being a mentor and just an example to me in regards to being charitable and attracting love and wealth into your life in different aspects. And so if you didn't see that part, after this segment is over, you can rewind, go back and rewatch it. But a shout out to you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. And he says, thanks, brother.
Yes. That man right there is awesome. And I'm going to say this, and then we're going to get back to our show. If you get a chance, connect with him, and I can connect you with him. Get him on your show because he has a lot of information to share.
All right.
Telling you right now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And I've known him for years, and he's just an awesome dude, man. Yep. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
So let's get into this. What you want to get into the power of the subconscious mind a bit?
Yes, let's do.
This is one of my favorite books. And let me hear, you've read this book?
I have.
Tell me some of the highlights. I know you're interviewing me, but you told me that I could ask you a question too.
Totally.
What are some of the biggest things that stood out to you about the power of the subconscious mind?
Well, so it stood out to me because you had posted a picture several years ago.
Oh, me?
You.
Okay.
You inspired me to read it. And I saw that you had posted it on your page. And I was like, okay, that's one. I need to put that in my library because you said, right, to have people in your corner that inspire you and want you to be better. And you were one of those for me. So love the book. I have a lot of quotes and things that just stick out to me with this. But
let me hear.
In my family, we grew up with fear, and I believe it's just the way that they were taught and grown up, right? So it was just fear. My mom always just worried about everything. And so then what did I do? I just worried about everything and worried about what was going on. And one of the quotes he has is said, there is no block to your happiness save in your own thought and life. In mental imagery, is fear or worry holding you back? Fear is a thought in your mind. You can dig it up this very moment by, I think I wrote this kind of sloppy, but supplanting it with faith, success, achievement, and victory over all of your problems. And so really just having faith.
Wow, that was powerful.
Yeah. And the way that you pray.
It's just something that it wasn't nothing, but no, that's powerful. All those words you just said. And that's, wow, that's amazing.
So dig it up and just have faith. And also I loved how he talked about the way that you pray. And you don't necessarily have to be religious, right? A prayer is between you and also your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the giver. I also study a lot of Florence Scovel Shinn, and she says that
Beaveran too. You ever heard of her?
Yes.
They both came from like the same time period, but yeah.
And Neville Goddard
is amazing. Yep.
Yeah. So God is both the giver and the gift, if you think about it. And that is our subconscious mind. And so when we're praying, it's accepting what you are giving. It's not like begging and pleading.
Yeah, begging and pleading and coming in. Excuse me, because I just had to say this because I used to I grew up exactly like you with that mindset: begging, pleading, not thinking you're worthy. But like even in biblical terms, it says, "Come boldly," to God or to source, to universe. Come boldly.
Yeah.
Already. To me, it means not just like name it and claim it, but speak as if it's already so, and just be thankful. Like I'm thankful that this wealth or whatever is manifesting into my life right now. I'm thankful for that. Thank you very much. And that's saying you already have it. You already have it. I'm a firm believer that we weren't created to be beggars and scoffers, and we were created to be rich in all areas of our life. But there's a lot of and I'm not pointing any fingers, but there's a lot of powers that be and a lot of things out there that steer us otherwise and make us think that we're not worthy, and make us think that, you know, this is only for a selective few. Rocky Atkins, hey, how you doing? That's another one of my brothers right there, man. And and I'm not meaning to call you man. That's just a habit I have to say that, because you're an absolute distinguished lady, and I have to clarify that. But I just, yeah, when I see him coming through, some of these guys coming through, I just immediately say, hey, man. But yeah, great people.
Totally. Yeah.
Thank you for coming in, Rocky. Hugh Jacobson.
Yeah.
Faith is giving thanks. I have it. Prayer is asking for it to be given to me. Yes, yes. And this, and knowing it's already yours. There's no reason. A lot of people, and this is just my perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not imposing on nobody else's perspective. But a lot of people say, well, if it's meant for me, yeah, there's some truth to that. But if it's something that's not, this is my perspective, impeding on anybody else's or harming anybody else, and it's something that is conducive to your peace, your happiness, your joy, your balance, then it is meant for you. And that's all it is. You know, we're all children of the universe. We're all children of God. Now, if God is our father, what do you think he wants his children not to have anything? You know? Yeah, of course. So we're children of the King. You know, this power, you know, out there for whoever, however you want to put it, everybody out there, God, source, universe. Yeah. We're from that source. So we're not something that's created to be shriveled up and puny. No, we're big, and we have to know that, you know.
Totally. Overcoming all the programming that we've been put through within our life, right? Within growing up, and how the media portrays it, and TV. And it's meant to keep you in that state of fear. And it's learning to use the power of your mind, learning what you listen to, learning what you watch, and then overcoming those things and really stepping into your greatness. I've hit on this before on the show, but like Marianne Williamson, it's our light that we're afraid to step into, like our greatness, the you know, that power of who we are.
Who we really are.
Yeah, who we really
because
are.
Our, you know, yeah, we were created in the image of the universe, the image of God. So how is there any flaws in that? We put those flaws there by our, you know, programming and, you know, old thought energy from handed down from family and things like that. We've impeded our own, you know, success and growth and knowing who we really are. You know, so yes.
And we're all one, like law of one. We are all one.
Right. We're of the
not one above the other.
Of the same creator. A different creator didn't create you than me. No. So, but people have this, you know, thing. Lori Deckard, how are you doing? Love and appreciation. I just had a little contact with her earlier. She shared this a post of mine, and when I was speaking earlier, when I was working out and sweaty, and I thought that just at that time I was really passionate. So that's why I said, you know what, I'm not going to wait till I dry off. I'm going to go and talk to people right now, and not to take anything from what we're doing now, but that's why I said that. I mean, I went on there and she shared that, and I appreciate you, Lori.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We kind of talked about that a little bit, is like you can fall off track on things in life, and it's not like every minute of our lives is perfect, right? We all have our own faults, and we're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to be our human self and show ourselves in our humanness, and that we all have these moments.
You know, Shawnalee, I mean, you just keep saying, I don't want to keep interrupt you.
You're good.
You're saying so, and that's how the conversation goes when you're in alignment with somebody.
Totally.
Just everything you say, it clicks something in my head.
Totally. Same.
My wife and I were talking earlier, and we were talking about that same thing that what you just said. What
in your humanness, being human, right? We're not meant to be perfect.
Oh, yes. You just jogged my thought again. I got ahead of myself and forgot my thought, but now I know. Yeah. We were talking to each other and with each other, and I said, think about this. If everything was exactly the way you wanted it to be, I'm saying everybody lived by your expectations, everything was exactly how you wanted it to be, what, how would you grow? What would you learn? How would you build character? How would you learn how to figure out problem solving and to overcome? Where would you get that from?
Yeah.
And what I said to her also is that's why a lot of people, I'm not saying all, and I'm not naming any names, that have been born into this really cushiony life, whenever they experience any loss or adversity, they end up killing themselves because they don't have that skill of dealing with adversity, you know.
Yeah.
And I just narrowed it down to that. I narrowed it down to like even money. Oftentimes people that were born wealthy, right, and then they lose it, they don't want to live anymore. But someone that came up in poverty or meager middle class or meager accommodations, they gain some money and lose it. They're okay still because they have that contrast. They have that, you know, that skill.
Bill.
They learn from the adversities that they've already been through. So they're going to be okay. Not saying that they're going to be totally excited about it, you
Yeah.
know.
Totally not.
They're going to feel, as long as they're here and healthy, they're going to find another way to keep, you know, keep pushing and opening up doors, you know, of what they want. So
Yeah. And Dr. Joseph Murphy, he says that we can't force it, right?
right.
You were talking about will, like willpower. I think of the solar plexus. And, you know, he talks about what you think goes into that other mind, the solar plexus, which is our gut mind, right?
Yes, we have lots of minds.
We have lots of minds. And that's like your gut feeling. When your body speaks, like listen to it, it's more accurate than your mind because our mind can go any way. It can shift and twist things and turn things, but the gut always knows. And we can't force upon that to our subconscious mind, right? But we can, once we accept it in our conscious mind, once we accept that as a truth, it travels to the subconscious mind. And then it's your body mind, right? The body just takes over from there. It will create whatever you want to create. If you have lack of health, say, and you want to improve your health, just thinking, like even before you go to sleep, and just thinking of that health, like we talked about wealth earlier, just talking to your mind and knowing, like, okay, well, maybe there's something that you have a question on and you don't quite know the answer. You can go to your subconscious mind, he talks about, and ask before you go to sleep,
Go to
like,
sleep, and then
what is this? And it'll be brought to you.
it'll be brought to you. And I want to elaborate on something you just said a while back about speaking health. Now, there might be people listening here that don't understand about that, but I'll put it in this term. There's several stories in regards to health where the doctors have given people basically their last words and they didn't know what to do. And somehow, through their own mind, um, their own energy, their own thinking, were miraculously healed. And the doctors don't know how, you know. And so that was, to me, you know, divine intervention. And it stimulated from here in your mind. And by the way, I don't want to jump around, but I learned, I forgot how many minds that we have other than just the brain. You got the heart mind that actually,
Yes.
and then the gut. And I learned that from a gentleman by the name of Dan Matthews.
Mhm.
If you get a chance to look him up
Yeah.
on Facebook or whatever, his name is Dan Matthews. He talks about that. He was a nuclear physicist, I believe. He used to work for NASA, so very intellectual gentleman. And I had the pleasure of speaking with him on several occasions, and he just opened up my mind to things that I just was like, wow.
Yeah.
And even before we get off, if any of this that we're talking about right now sounds like gibberish or whatever, I encourage you to go get that book for
Yeah.
yourself, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and just read and check out some of the ideas. Some may resonate with you, some may not, but never underestimate. I always say this: never underestimate the power of planting seeds. And if something is intended
Mhm.
to help you in some way or grow, why not give it a shot?
Yeah.
And yeah, things like this is been, he goes through a lot of, like I said, what I like greatly about Joseph Murphy is that he can communicate his message. He's had a lot of experience, like I said, as like a preacher, as a scientist, as everything. So he incorporates all that into, his way, into helping you start to get your thoughts right, and thinking right, and your energy right, and realizing the power that you have within yourself to create the life yourself that you want. you know
Yeah.
he lays it out in like diagram form, um, that has worked for several people in himself on how to achieve that. And I've
Yeah.
used some of these methods, and I've just watched my life transform. And I'm not getting any money, of course, for advocating
Cool.
for this book. I
So,
don't even know the publisher or anything. And Joseph Murphy is no longer with us here in the flesh. So, but I'm sharing that because it's true. And I liked his. I enjoyed his book so much that I had to get another one. And then I had to get another one, how to use
mhm.
the power of prayer. And I had to get another one, how to attract money. And just, wow. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this guy is on to something. And
Totally.
just, wow. I like to feed my mind information like that versus, and I'm not putting anything else down, but versus, garbage that I consider garbage, like, gossip stuff, and just stuff
Mhm.
about reading about, death and all that. And I do understand one thing, that society, we're programmed to be intrigued by, death, and listening to things about people being killed and violent stuff like that. And yeah, people, I've been one myself to like tune in. I hear something on the news. Oh, who got shot? Who got killed? Oh, that man did. Oh, but I've learned to scale back from that.
Do that.
I don't want to keep feeding and embedding in my mind tragedy, because then I feel like that I don't want to just think about tragedy and things like that. It happens. I'm not trying to say, oh, I live in this Disneyland world that tragedy doesn't happen, but that's not where I want to place my focus. I want to place my focus on things like, connecting with people like you. You know what I mean? And traveling the world and enjoying myself, and
Mm.
just
Mhm.
affirming that I'm safe wherever I go, and not and using some discretion and common sense. I'm not going to just, oh, I heard this neighborhood was terrible. Oh, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm using discretion, but at the same time, my mind is focused on just thriving and living and growing and enjoying myself. I don't want to fill my mind with fear on, okay, this guy's killing these people over here. Okay, yeah, that's unfortunate. And I don't have any answer for that. I'm not,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't have all the answers, or even most of them, but I am learning to have more answers for myself, and I'm sharing my perspectives and answers that I'm gaining through experience, through reading, through seminars, through the universe, God speaking to me, and I'm sharing it with people, not imposing it, not saying, oh, you think like this or your life's not going to be right. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
just sharing and excited to share what indeed I know is working for me in a positive
Yeah.
way. So I don't want to keep that to myself, you know.
Totally. And people could take whatever they want and leave the rest, right?
Yeah. Bruce Lee said that.
Yeah.
He said use whatever's useful and
Mhm.
discard whatever you feel is not.
Exactly.
Simple. It
Simple.
doesn't mean, even the people that I follow or people that I read, it doesn't mean that I agree with or resonate with everything they're saying. And then sometimes, because that seed is planted, I'll resonate with something that I didn't resonate with before
Yeah.
later. Like when I read, for instance, I know we're honoring Dr. Joseph Murphy today, but
Yeah. Totally.
when I
It's
read the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, I
mm,
didn't understand when I first read that years ago. I didn't understand a lot of them concepts. And definitely, since I didn't understand with them, I didn't agree, or they didn't resonate with me. But then as time went by, and experiences that I encountered, they started to make sense.
Yeah.
We're focusing on now, and now is all we have. And that I'm just giving a little brief insight
Love
that
it.
now is all we have. That
Yeah.
the past is only in here. That's not happening anymore. And the future is just anticipation. But really, we need to learn to calm down and enjoy this moment right now to its fullest. So
Yeah.
that that book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, um, really spoke volumes to me. And
Yeah.
amazing, another amazing author in my perspective.
Totally, totally. And stop like subcontracting your health to or your wealth or your happiness till the future, into the future, into the future. Like it's now. Be happy now. Like once you get those things, like we always hear, "Oh, I'll be happy when I get this. I'll be happy when I get that." But in this now moment, being happy now, regardless if those things come, like feeling those feelings of having it now, and that's what draws it to you now. But then being okay and like letting go, like you said earlier, you're talking about that almost like the law of non-resistance, right? You're happy either way. And then
Non-attachment too, yeah. Non-resistance,
non-attachment.
non-attachment.
Yeah.
And you know what, Shawnalee, see, you keep saying magical words, and wow, wow.
Yeah.
Because I had a talk with someone um, not too long ago, and I said, I appreciate our friendship, and I know within all friendships you go through ups and downs, and I hope you're able to grasp this concept. But I basically said, if we're basically, to put it simply, if we're vibing on a good vibe, yes, I enjoy being in your company. I said, but if you're not, I enjoy being in my own company. So either way, I'm good. I'm not attached to being over here and then thinking and complaining about what this person
Mhm.
should be doing or what expectations I have for them. I allow them to be them with no, um, with being connected.
Yeah.
Think about this: being connected but not attached, which means I'm connected to these people because this person because I know the overall picture is good.
Mhm.
We receive growth from each other. So just because we go through a little bit of turbulence doesn't mean that, oh, I hate you, get away. No, it just
No.
means I might have to disconnect, go over here, and I'm not going to sit there and start thinking bad things about you and start thinking, oh, if only they were this way. No. So
Yeah.
that's what I like to call, like, just what you just said is
Yeah.
non-attached, but you still connected.
It's not attached, still connected, still
Right.
sending love, right?
Right.
And that you wish happiness, you wish growth, but sometimes we can't go to those places any longer, right?
Right. So sometimes you just got to
You just
disconnect
got to
and go
just disconnect.
fall back. You got to fall.
Fall
Yeah.
back.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that you wish harm or anything against anyone, because that's not like I believe who we are,
Right.
but that that you're just there. And I loved how you said you're vibing in your own vibe. And you know what? You catch up with me, maybe not. Maybe we stay our separate ways. That's okay.
Yes, that's okay. It's still no, and I've learned this, and I know
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that we will continue to be presented in different ways with the same
Hmm.
uh experiences until we learn. So
Yeah.
I used to be in that headspace, that energy where if I had a falling out with somebody, it would continue to plague my mind. And I would
Oh, yeah.
probably be sending out not so good vibes. But now I learned that's
Yeah.
just disrupting me, you know,
Just,
by
yeah.
doing that. That's eating me up and
Totally.
attracting illness and things to me, high blood pressure and stress and tension to me. So, you know, this connects to this. When you forgive people, you don't forgive them for them. You do that for you, so you can release all that baggage off of you, you know,
Totally.
and be okay. And forgiving does not mean you accept it. It just means you come to terms with it and you're okay now. And it doesn't even necessarily mean you're going to jump back in that same boat again. It just means I release you with peace and love. I wish you well. And no more focus on that. Now I'm focusing on, some people might think it's that's not there yet, might think it's selfish, but no, I've learned that it's not. It's not selfish to focus on your own peace and harmony and balance, because when you are in that, when you focus on that for yourself, you're able to pour out that and radiate that out to other people. Without that, you can't.
Yeah.
It's like people who don't love themselves, and I've been there plenty of times,
Yeah.
most of my life,
Yeah.
are incapable of really truly loving anyone else. And I had to come to grips with that and say, you know what? During all this time, I wasn't loving myself.
Yeah.
And at least not the way I should be, because it showed in my actions. It showed in the way that I related with people, and people that were close to me. There was no way I could love them right, because I didn't have the love here,
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll have to go through those like growing experiences and really understand like each layer of my healing journey. I was like, oh, well, this is what self-love is. And then it was like, oh, well, this is what self-love is, until I came to that conception that self-love, it's just unconditional, right? There's
right.
no limit to that type of self-love. It's just unconditional. And by offering forgiveness for others, I offer forgiveness for myself. But then that also, as we are talking abundance, it unblocks the abundance. When we hold a grudge, when we are unforgiving, when we hold that anger and that angst in ourselves, like you said, it's ruining your own health, but it's also blocking you from those blessings that are meant for you and are for you here and now.
Right. Amazing. Everything that you've said thus far, Shawnalee, and I'm not just trying to say this with no feeling or merit behind it, but everything that you've said thus far has resonated with me, and it's truly powerful. And I love engaging in conversations like this. I think it's like mental and spiritual exercise. That's what I think it is. And it's like it's just engaging in conversations like this. Self-empowerment, personal development type conversations are good for the soul. It just makes me feel like, wow, I'm recharged again, just having a conversation like this. So it means a lot to me, and I thank you for having me on here today.
You're so welcome, and we'll do it again, right?
Yes.
And again.
Yes. Like I said, even prior to this segment. Oh, sorry. What were you about to say? Sorry.
Oh, just reaffirming those things for yourself. Sometimes they have to be spoken, and to the power and to the extent. We talked about the spoken word, and that's how we create. We're creators. And so speaking those blessings into our life, I think Al Harwick said it up there, is speak what you seek until you see what you say. So speak those blessings over your life.
Right. I just saw a segment, that's crazy. Now, I don't even want to say crazy, but that's just amazing, because I just watched it just randomly popped up on my YouTube, but there was the entertainer Steve Harvey. He has a segment, and you guys can look that up. But he talked about the power of your words. He said, if you're talking about, oh, I'm broke and whatnot, that's what you're gonna be. You talking about, I don't want to mess up his words, but just look it up.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Steve Harvey talking about the power of your words.
Yeah. A couple of his and
I had never heard him. He said some things that have caught my attention over the years, and some bad, negative, some good, but this one caught my attention, and he was really adamant about saying it. So go on YouTube and look that up. Steve Harvey talking about the power of your words. Just man, wow, he hit a home run on how he said it, and I don't even want to begin to try to.
I can remember those clips too.
But they're in here. They're locked in here, and they will come out at the right time, because I watched that clip about 4 or 5 times. I knew that message was meant for me.
And go write it down, right? What we want. Not only do we create through our words, but we create through writing. And you want to see it happen in your life, you go write that down. Go write it down. He talked about how he had $37, something like that. And wanted to go be on TV. And these are some of the things. He wrote a list of 300 things. And he wanted you to go at home, to the viewers, to go write down 300 things of what you want and carry that list with you for a year. Wow. And see what comes. And he said, after 75, like, you're going to get this big mental block that won't want you to go past 75, but go past 75 and write down 300 and cross that off and see what happens. So I challenge you to go do that at home.
Yes. And myself, and I can just show you something.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to flash it up there because this is all my personal stuff. But basically every morning and every night I write down gratitude, like in this particular page, because it only fits, but like 12 gratitudes. And I learned this. I was inspired to do this by a woman by the name of Stefania Pulio. And I believe she's in Australia, but we connected and she just told me to start doing this. And amazing things have happened. I'm going to be honest with you. It has. I just say things, even if I don't even see any of those things happening, I don't put any expectation on it. I mean, like that, like, oh, it needs to happen now. But I'll read off a couple of things. I'm grateful for becoming a multimillionaire. I'm grateful for, my conscious expansion. I'm grateful for being a best-selling author. I'm grateful for having perfect health. I'm just repeating things like that every day. Even things as simple as I'm grateful that I have clean water to drink. I'm grateful that I have shelter and food, just things like that. I'm grateful for the shoes, my shoelaces. I'm grateful for the car I drive. I'm grateful that everywhere I go, I'm safe. I'm grateful for being able-bodied. I'm grateful for healing if I'm not able-bodied. I'm grateful for the healing, the miraculous healing that's taking place. Just things like that. I just write that down every morning and when I first wake up and every night prior to going to sleep. Yeah. And there's a power in that because I'm writing, like you said, there's a power in writing. And then you're saying it verbally and mentally. There's some kind of power in that. You're like programming your brain for like abundance thinking.
Yeah.
And I think that's powerful.
Totally. Like, so I took a challenge at the beginning of this year with Justin Trussell, and he's on Instagram. If you want to go look him up, he does a lot of breath work and the power of using your breath to clear your body from the emotions and trauma and things. And it was a gratitude challenge. And each day we wrote 22 things in the morning and then 3 things that happened the day before yesterday. And I was able to go back and transform my childhood and my life and realized that I never had a bad life. It was my perception. Right. There was a quote that he shared about the blind man, and there was a blind man. I can't remember exactly what it says, but I related it to be me being the blind woman who didn't see, who didn't give thanks for this life and this breath and for everything that I had and everything that was in my existence, for being that unfeeling person and really transforming my life. And then really giving gratitude and thanks for even our parents, like those people who gave you life, whether they were in your life completely or not, right? Even
because
just
they gave you the greatest gift that no one can top the gift that they gave you.
Yeah.
Which is life. They gave you life.
Yeah.
Now, and just to elaborate on what you said, oftentimes we, in my experience and people that I've been around, we focus on the things that we didn't get or didn't happen versus on the blessings that we did get.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, my parents didn't do this. They didn't do that. They always did it. But did you starve? Did you have clothes on your back? Did you have a roof over your head?
Did you go to school?
Yes. And we got to know that they did the best they could with the mindset that they had at the time. They weren't purposely trying to destroy you. That's just the way they were either brought up or they were conditioned that way. But back to what you just said, being thankful. And I didn't know that at the time either. That first of all, whether the parent is in my life or not, they gave me the greatest gift that I can ever receive. I'm alive. And I have something I can do with that life, whether go left or right, up or down. That's my choice. not theirs. So to be aware of that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and even be aware that the emotional trauma that you might have experienced as children, you have to, it's still your responsibility to get over that. No one can
Totally.
reach in your head and fix you. You got to do that. And no matter how long it takes, you got to work on yourself
You got
until
to
you
work on
do.
yourself.
Or
Yeah.
spend a lifetime reaching for that, you know, but don't sit back and just place blame like, oh, my parents got to fix this because they broke me. No.
Mm-mm. Nothing in life has defeated us, not even ourselves. We are here today.
That's right. And I believe everything has happened, no matter how bad it is. And I know some people will jam me up for this, but it's happened for a purpose. And the purpose is to make us stronger in some way and to be able to overcome, because that's what we're here to do.
We're
You
here
know,
to overcome.
overcome and balance ourselves throughout all the adversities, throughout no matter what has happened or what will happen. And then we'll get to a place where nothing really
Yeah.
tears us down, at least for not that long. We have the tools now to just transition and work through things, you know,
Totally.
because of the things, you know, you've been through. I even listened to an artist by the name of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. And there's a lot of things I don't agree with what he does and how he speaks, but he's something, I'm focusing on the good. He said something in the ballpark of his mother meant the world to him, right? And she was killed. So nothing else that happens now is gonna ever be worse than that. So he'll get through it. Basically, I get through whatever now because the worst thing that could ever happen to me happened to me. So now everything else is ice cream.
Everything else is ice cream.
Everything else is ice cream to him. Not saying that it's compared to how deeply that hurt him. You know,
Totally.
and I resonate with that. You know, because there's some things that I've encountered that have deeply hurt to the point where the only reason why I'm allowing these other things to really affect me the way they do is because I'm focusing on them and telling myself that. It's like, wait a minute, these aren't as bad as that. So I can make it. I made it. And on top of that, I made it through that.
Yeah. We're
not saying it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But I made it through because I'm still here. So therefore, I have, like I said before, if everything was perfect in our lives, we wouldn't develop that skill.
We wouldn't. I find like the hardest times in my life. Sorry, I don't know if I'm cutting out, but like the hardest times in my life, I buckle down. I work harder. I have that grit. I have that strength. Like I know how to get myself through those tough times.
Right.
And that's meant to grow us. It's meant to help us to reach our greatest potential. Right. And that's why we're here.
Yeah. And no one says it's not going to hurt or sting because it does. It does. But it's a higher purpose, and the higher purpose is you. If you learn how to shift your thinking and perspectives and use it as fuel for you to transcend and to grow. So
it's the story we tell we tell ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Hugh Jacobson. That's how I am today after my daughter was killed 10 years ago. Sorry about that, Hugh. My condolences go out to you. Gratitude in the discovery of life. Amazing place to be, Hugh.
Yeah.
Right.
Loving me.
That is a testimony and more of encouragement to me, you know, because I can imagine that, and you're still here.
Yeah. And
wow, amazing. You're still here, and bless your daughter because she's still with you. Just not here in the physical, but she's still here.
She's still here.
Her energy, her spirit. She still knows who her mom is.
Yeah.
And she's looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I think we've hit the hour mark now. We don't want to bore people because I know they don't want to keep hearing me ramble on. Cut me off. I know.
You're good. You're good. Man, we could go on forever too.
Yes, and that's why we're going to do it again.
Exactly. I'm so appreciative and grateful for you. Thank you.
Oh, you know the feelings. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. There I go again.
No,
Finish your thought.
we just vibed. Like,
Yeah.
I read your thoughts, you read mine. Like, it just meshed.
Yes, the feeling is definitely mutual.
Yeah.
I have the utmost admiration and respect to you and for you. And like I said, whether we speak often or not, we're
Yeah.
connected. We're connected. So I know that, and I appreciate having someone like you being part of my experience, my life. Appreciate it very
Me
much.
too. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, everyone at home, for joining us. Have a good night.